What if the world you know, the streets, the oceans, the skies, is only a shadow of something far older, far more alive? A place where time twists, where youth never fades, and where the line between mortal life and legend shimmers like silver mist. Tonight, that hidden realm stirs. The air quivers, ancient whispers thread through the winds, speaking of rivers that flow like liquid light, of forests that breathe, and of trees that hold memories older than kingdoms. And now, a mortal steps too close. He sees it first as a flicker, a glint upon the cliffs, a streak of impossible light over the restless sea. Then the world itself seems to pause, watching, waiting, breathing in unison with a secret older than history. Welcome to Tir na Nog, a land of eternal youth, breathtaking beauty, and perilous wonder. Step too far, and you may never return the same. The morning mist curled around the cliffs like the fingers of some ancient, unseen hand, holding the world in a fragile, silvery hush. Below, the sea stretched endlessly, restless and luminous, reflecting light that did not belong to the sun. It shimmered as though the world itself were breathing a secret meant only for those willing to see. He stood at the edge, heart thrumming, sensing the invisible thread that pulled him forward. Every tale of Tir na Nog, of immortal youth, rivers of silver, and meadows that never faded, suddenly felt like a whisper of truth, vibrating through the air and into his very bones. A flicker of light danced across the mist, then vanished like a sigh. The air carried a music, soft yet insistent, winding through the cliffs, rustling through the ancient stone ruins, a melody older than memory itself. It beckoned him. Step by cautious step, he descended the winding path carved into the cliffs. Dew-drenched moss cushioned his feet, but even the gentle touch of the earth seemed charged with expectation. Another streak of light appeared, hovering above the waves, delicate and impossible, almost like a door between worlds. And then he saw it, a bridge of silver, undulating as if alive, stretching across the waves. Not stone, not wood, but something older, a threshold made of the very essence of magic. He hesitated, the ordinary world clinging to him, whispering familiar comforts. Yet the pull of the unknown was irresistible. With one trembling step, he crossed onto the bridge. The air thrummed around him. Colors unseen in the mortal world danced in the mist. Violets that sang, gold that breathed, silver that shimmered like starlight caught in tears. Each step carried him further from the life he had known, each heartbeat syncing with the rhythm of the land itself. At the midpoint, he dared a glance back. The cliffs, the forests, the mundane world he was leaving behind. All were beautiful, yes, but incomplete. Before him stretched Tir na Nog in all its impossible glory. Rivers flowed like molten silver, winding through emerald meadows dotted with luminous flowers. Towers of crystal shimmered atop gentle hills, scattering light like rain across the land. Ethereal birds wove patterns through the sky, their songs tugging at memories he had never lived. Trees whispered secrets older than time itself, and the air seemed alive, filled with knowledge, music, and magic. And standing at the heart of the realm, bathed in the soft glow of the land, was a figure cloaked in silver light, eyes holding centuries of wisdom and laughter. He had crossed the threshold. The ordinary world was gone, and Tir na Nog had begun its spell, delicate yet absolute, binding him to a journey from which he would never return unchanged. The air of Tir na Nog shimmered, warm and alive, carrying a fragrance that was both strange and familiar. Flowers that glowed in twilight, rivers of silver weaving like liquid starlight, and something deeper, a pulse of the land itself, vibrating with forgotten truths. He wandered through meadows where the grass hummed softly beneath his feet, each blade alive with the essence of the realm. Colors danced across the horizon in ways no mortal eye had seen, hues that seemed to sing and shimmer with their own life. Every sound, the rustle of leaves, the soft murmur of water, the ethereal birdsong, was layered with meaning, each note drawing him further into the magic of this land. In the distance, a grove of crystalline trees rose, their trunks glowing faintly from within, veins of silver and gold pulsing like the heartbeat of eternity. Small creatures flitted among the branches, no taller than his knee, wings spun from gossamer and starlight, laughter tinkling like delicate chimes. They paused to regard him with bright, curious eyes, then vanished in sparkling arcs of light, leaving behind trails of shimmer that lingered like promises. "Welcome, traveler," a voice said, melodic and everywhere at once. Startled, he turned to see a figure emerge from the shadows, a being tall and elegant, cloaked in robes that shifted in color with every movement. Its eyes reflected galaxies, deep and infinite, ancient yet alive. "You have walked far," the being said, voice threading through the grove like music. "Few mortals come here willingly. Fewer still understand what they have entered." He followed, heart thrumming, through landscapes more wondrous with each step. Rivers flowed upward, defying gravity, while mountains shimmered in light that seemed to come from neither sun nor moon. Ethereal beings danced along the peaks, weaving patterns too intricate for human perception. He realized that Tir na Nog was alive in ways the ordinary world could never be, responding to thought, emotion, and desire with subtle shifts in form and light. Yet, beneath the beauty, he sensed subtle tests. Shadows stirred at the edges of his vision, moving neither threateningly nor kindly, but observing, waiting. The land demanded more than awe. It demanded respect, attention, and understanding. By the time he reached a lake, perfectly still and silver as quicksilver, twilight had deepened, though time itself seemed fluid. A luminous swan glided across its surface, leaving ripples of soft, glowing light. The figure who had guided him stopped beside the lake. "You may drink from this water," it said, "and see what your heart truly seeks. But beware, the reflection may show more than desire. It may reveal truths that mortals are not always ready to face." He knelt, cupping the glowing water, and gazed into it. At first, his reflection stared back, curious, mortal, unremarkable. Then the image shifted. He saw himself in Tir na Nog, endless days of youth, beauty untouched by time, knowledge without limit. But woven through the vision flickered shadows. Loneliness, choices forsaken, the weight of eternity pressing quietly yet insistently upon the soul. The realm's first subtle test had begun. Tir na Nog was no mere paradise. Its wonders were gifts, yes, but they demanded awareness, respect, and understanding. To linger carelessly was to risk becoming lost in beauty, leaving the self behind. The valley opened before him, yet the beauty of Tir na Nog now carried a subtle tension, as if the land itself were aware of his every thought. The meadows glowed softly, the rivers shimmered like molten silver, yet shadows lingered at the edges of perception, twisting and shifting, neither threatening nor welcoming, simply observing. A forest of golden leaves appeared ahead, light bending through the branches in impossible angles. The scent of ancient memories, forgotten loves, unfulfilled dreams, roads untaken, drifted through the air. The ground beneath his feet pulsed faintly, attuned to his heartbeat. Then, from the mist, a figure emerged, a mirror of himself, yet older, wearier, yet untouched by decay. Its eyes held both knowledge and sorrow, and it spoke without moving its lips. "You have wandered far, mortal. You see beauty, but do you understand what it asks? Here, Every desire, every longing, is mirrored and magnified. To take all without care is to lose yourself. The trees seem to lean closer. The river's flow stilled as if the world itself awaited his choice. Paths appeared before him, shifting and intertwining, some warm with welcoming light, others cold and forbidding. Every step carried consequence. A shimmering pool emerged at the heart of the grove, its surface perfectly still, reflecting not only the world, but the desires of his heart. Faces of loved ones, moments of joy, paths not taken, all flickered in the water, beautiful yet painfully unreachable. He knelt, hesitant. To drink from the pool was to glimpse the life Tir na Nog offered, eternal youth, endless knowledge, beauty untouched by time. And yet beneath the wonder lurked shadows, isolation, the slow erosion of ties to the mortal world, the weight of an endless existence. The mirrored figure's voice threaded through his mind. Choose wisely. Desire alone is not enough. To linger blindly is to forget yourself and those who shaped your heart. To rush is to miss what this realm seeks to teach. He gazed into the pool, feeling both awe and fear intertwine. The first challenge of Tir na Nog was not a beast nor a trap. It was the test of his own heart. Could he recognize the difference between fleeting desire and enduring meaning? Could he grasp the gift without being consumed by it? The forest waited, breathless, ancient, patient. Every choice, every hesitation, rippled through the land. And in that still, luminous moment, he understood. Tir na Nog was not paradise without price. It was a teacher, a mirror, a realm that demanded wisdom, courage, and discernment. The forest of gold faded behind him as he followed the path the land itself seemed to illuminate, guiding him toward a valley bathed in impossible light. Rivers of silver wove through hills that glimmered with every color of the spectrum, and the air thrummed with a pulse older than time, pressing against his chest like the heartbeat of eternity. At the heart of the valley stood a towering tree, its trunk carved from crystal, branches stretching into skies unbound by ordinary space. From its limbs hung countless lanterns, each containing a flicker of light that seemed alive. Souls, memories, fragments of time, shimmering and humming with power. The luminous figure appeared beside him, eyes reflecting galaxies, voice threading through the air. You have walked far, mortal. Now you must see what Tir na Nog truly offers. He approached the tree, kneeling in awe. The lantern swayed, spilling visions into the air like silken threads. He saw himself in endless youth, beauty untouched by decay, knowledge without limit. Every desire of his mortal heart was laid bare, and yet, through the brilliance, shadows flickered, faces he loved, fading, laughter of friends and family, lost in a timeless realm, moments of mortal joy he could never reclaim. The gift of eternity carried its own weight, a profound isolation hidden beneath its dazzling surface. You see now, the being whispered. Eternity is not merely endless days. It is a mirror of your desires. To take all without understanding is to lose yourself. To remain is to bear the burden of all that you leave behind. He fell to his knees, trembling between awe and fear. The realization struck him fully. Eternal youth and endless knowledge were magnificent, yet incomplete without meaning, without connection, without the fragile, fleeting moments that gave life its depth. Tir na Nog was not a paradise to seize. It was a test, a revelation, a teacher demanding discernment and courage. The valley held its breath as he stood, heart pounding with clarity. He had glimpsed the profound truth of the land. The gifts it offered were inseparable from responsibility. Only by understanding, by choosing wisely, could one walk its paths without losing the essence of oneself. For the first time, he felt not only awe, but understanding. The land had revealed its deepest secret. Eternal beauty and youth were meaningless without purpose, love, and the fleeting, precious moments that made life worth living. For a long moment he stood beneath the crystal tree, its lantern swaying gently as if listening to his breath. Tir na Nog shimmered around him, rivers of silver whispering across the valley, meadows glowing with unending bloom, skies stretched wide with timeless light. The land offered everything the mortal heart had ever dreamed of, and it offered it without decay. Yet, within that splendor, he felt the weight of truth settle into his chest. He thought of fleeting mornings, of laughter that faded too quickly, of love made precious precisely because it did not last forever. He understood now. Eternity could preserve beauty, but it could not replace meaning. Slowly, with a steadiness that surprised even himself, he turned away from the crystal tree. The land seemed to sigh, not in sorrow, but in understanding. Paths of light unfolded before him, guiding him back toward the silver bridge. The luminous being appeared once more, its gaze gentle, filled with ancient compassion. "You have chosen the harder path," it said softly. "To leave is not to fail. It is to honor the truth of what you are, carry what you have learned, and the magic of this land will never truly leave you." Each step across the bridge felt lighter, as though the land itself were releasing him with care. Mist rose, soft and luminous, wrapping around his form. When it cleared, dawn had broken over the cliffs of the mortal world. The sea breathed quietly below, ordinary and beautiful, unchanged. Yet he was not the same. He turned once more toward the horizon. For a heartbeat, the mist parted, and far beyond the waves, Tir na Nog shimmered, distant, radiant, and real. Then it faded, leaving behind only memory and meaning. He returned to the world of time and aging, of joy and loss, carrying something far more precious than eternal youth. Wisdom, the knowledge that wonder exists beyond the ordinary, that beauty deepens when it is fleeting, and that life's greatest magic lies not in escaping time, but in living fully within it. And though the world around him appeared unchanged, every step he took thereafter shimmered with quiet enchantment, as if Tir na Nog walked beside him, unseen, forever beyond the veil. Weeks passed, yet the world felt subtly altered. Dawn no longer merely broke, it shimmered, hinting at something beyond sight. Every gust of wind carried a soft echo, every silvered river seemed to hum with quiet knowledge. He moved through the mortal world as before, yet his steps bore the weight and freedom of someone who had touched eternity. The lessons of Tir na Nog lingered in him, the fleeting beauty of life, the preciousness of choice, and the deep resonance of love and connection. He smiled at moments that once seemed ordinary, the laughter of friends, the warmth of sunlight, the simple joy of a shared glance, realizing now that impermanence was the magic he had long sought. And in quiet moments, when the mist kissed the cliffs and the first silver streak of dawn appeared over the sea, he felt the land calling him, not urgently but as a soft, eternal whisper. Tir na Nog was always there, beyond the veil, a world of wonder that could be glimpsed not with the eyes, but with the heart. He carried it within him, unseen yet undeniable, a reminder that the extraordinary exists just beyond what we perceive, and that some doors, once crossed, never truly close. And so the world continued, ordinary to most, yet transformed for those who dare to see beyond. The land of eternal youth, of silver rivers and crystalline trees was not a place to conquer, but a mirror, a teacher revealing the truth of our desires, the strength of our hearts, and the fleeting, breathtaking beauty of mortal life. Tir na nog waits always for those who listen, and perhaps in the quiet between heartbeats, it waits for you.